If you want to watch live. Thanks to Stevie Frunch. Not French. Frunch. For helping out today. Latest episode of the Bill Squire Show is there. The Poundcake podcast. His deep dive into Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, and their fun with bottles, which we learned today Bill can identify.
Oh, yeah.
With that whole thing.
Done some stuff.
Done
some stuff. Fun with bottles.
The Guardians game for tonight has been postponed. They will play a doubleheader tomorrow. Games 2 and 3 against the Toronto Blue Jays. Cleveland beat them last night. 6-5 was the final there. So tomorrow, I assume they'll both be on MMS. You know, usually when there's a doubleheader, TAM will air the first one during the week, and then we are the second one. I think on a Saturday on both, probably. Next week on the show, I'll have tickets for if you want to see Hailstorm and the Pretty Reckless, Taylor Momsen and Lizzie Hale. They're going to come through Blossom in July. Incubus and Sublime with Rome, Blossom in August. And AWOL Nation is going to be at the Agora in October. So that's all on the way next week. Cleveland Heights, front and center in an article on the ticking time bombs of U.S. infrastructure. So congratulations, East Cleveland. You did it. They find that there are a number of dams in dangerous condition on the rise. And again, they don't have these ranked, but the prime example they used was the dam for Horseshoe Lake in Cleveland Heights. I don't even know where that is. It looks like it's ancient Greek ruins. This thing looks so old. That's the photo that they used. That's why, you know, when they talk about infrastructure bills and trillions of dollars are going to be spent, there's so much graft and backslapping. It's that even if those things get passed, are we going to see this in our lifetimes? You know, I know that there are some, I was reading a thing about how Cleveland and a bunch of cities in Northeast Ohio took COVID money and spent them on police surveillance cameras. So it's like, man, any money that's earmarked for things that need, and by the way, infrastructure desperately needs to be improved in this country. When they talk about $1 trillion, that's not nearly enough money. So, you know, anytime anybody gets any money, what do they use it for? Cameras, cops. They remove some lead pipes, or they, spend some money on sewer systems, updating them or whatever. But I bet not as much as the RoboCops get. And we're all walking around with cameras. But they go, hey, we got a couple extra bucks. You know what? Let's just buy some more surveillance cameras. Why not?
Can I add my name to a list?
You thought you were getting caught for forking people's lawns before. Wait till you do it now.
No, I'm saying when they're like, okay, we have extra money. What should we do with it? I want to put my name on that list.
Well, first of all, nobody ever has extra money. These are things that are, just ones and zeros flying through the air. But there's a lot of these cities that got a lot of money in COVID relief. And invariably, again, I'm not singling out Northeast Ohio, but that's where we live. But there are cities all over this country that got COVID money. And they were like, let's buy some MRAPs for the cops.
Ooh.
Ooh. So.
Oh, I thought you meant Entenmann's. I don't know what MRAPs are.
Entenmann's?
Yeah.
What?
I misunderstood what you were saying.
Oh.
Those can be pricey. Those Entenmann's.
Like $1.
When I said MRAP, you thought I said Entenmann's?
Of course.
Oh. Listen, if anybody
but you have to buy them for all the cops.
I was going to say, if I read an article that the cities around the country were using COVID money for Entenmann's, that would be an amazing story. Because usually it's all this kind of graft and things like that, and you find out you just scumbags across the board taking money, and, civilians too.
Yeah.
But if they were like, they took COVID money or surplus revenue, and they bought Entenmann's. No, I was talking about those mine-resistant, ambush-protected. That's what MRAP stands for.
There are a lot of mines in the area?
No, there aren't. That's why it's ridiculous. But we have all these military vehicles from overseas, and they bring them back, and that's why local police departments get tanks. Because we have all this crap.
Well, tanks for nothing.
Bill Squire. He's doing it.
Nah.
A factory in which I work gets up to 110 degrees in the summer. 10 hours of manual labor in that sucks.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, that would suck, yes. But sitting in a home, I guess, where it's 78 degrees would be a little bit different.
I'm going to tell you this. 10 minutes of manual labor and that sucks.
Yes.
10 minutes of manual labor sucks.
Yeah.
I don't care what degree it is.
Well, I mean, that's good. Doing some work is good.
I'd rather not.
I would not want to do 10 hours in a factory.
That's what my dad did forever.
I know he
He was a
did.
factory worker.
Yeah.
He hated it.
Yeah.
Manual labor was the worst.
Yeah.
Working for my dad is what made me want to find a job where I can just
Use your brain.
do something else. Like not have to lift repeatedly heavy things and just because you're so tired when you're done and it's so soul sucking.
That's how I felt with carpentry. Like I just felt like crying every day.
No, there's no crying with this. You don't feel like
There's no crying in carpentry.
No, I wouldn't cry as I'm doing carpentry. I would cry afterwards because I'm just like,
I wouldn't cry.
I don't want to do this.
I would just be so tired that it was literally my entire life working for my dad was you wake up at 6 a.m., you work until 8.
Until the sun goes
Yeah,
down.
basically.
Yeah.
Gotcha, like you're tilling the land. No,
Yeah. And then you get home, you eat, and you just pass out at like 9:30 and then just do it all again. And there's just no enjoyment in it.
Mm-hmm.
Does your dad enjoy what he does?
He must.
Yeah. I mean,
Does he enjoy
he
the
was
business
a bricklayer.
aspect of it?
So like that's a little more fulfilling, and especially with the money that he was making, there was enjoyment in it. But with the laborer part, where you're not building anything, you're helping them build things. You're just carrying things to the guys with skills. You're just a dope with muscles that they're like, get it here faster. And
Yeah, you're just a body.
quieter.
A dope with muscles.
Yeah.
Faster and quiet.
I mean, I was strong. I was very strong at that point in my life. Just running hods of mud up and down into like the basement and stuff. Oh,
Sure.
I wasn't like cut or anything, but I was, had a good core.
Good core. I'm working on my core. Yeah.
And stamina.
Sure.
I saw a friend I hadn't seen in a while, and I was like, "You working out, man? You look broader, like in your shoulders. You look, in the best way possible. You look a little thicker. You look like stronger." And he goes, "Yeah, I got a manual labor job." I was like, "When?" He goes, 6 months ago." I was like, "That'll do it." I
That
was like,
will do it.
That's exactly what it
Yep.
is.
You're out there breaking rocks.
Yeah.
Doing something. You want to hear a good text?
Can't wait.
Let me get some appropriate music ready.
Right, here we go.
Here's a text. Alan, I know you'll agree you've benefited from white privilege and systematic racism. I think you mean systemic racism.
Of course.
Has created wealth inequality between white men and African Americans. Equitable outcomes are not being achieved on your own show. The wealth inequality is outrageous.
True.
Why don't you share some of your income with Cody and Mary instead of oppressing and victimizing them?
Thank you, Mom, for sending this text.
Practice what you preach. Don't be a hypocrite. Those two live hand to mouth while you live high on the hog.
I love this person.
You're a You're a morally superior Democrat, right? Prove it.
Give me all your money.
I would also like to say I'm closer to Mary and Poundcake than I am to Alan.
But you're doing fine.
That's funny. I like that.
Yeah, Alan,
Well,
prove it.
first of all,
Prove it.
I don't pay anyone.
Well, maybe you should start.
Corporate pays people.
You need to start writing Cody and I personal checks
I'm going to.
daily.
How much
honestly.
would you like?
I would like $5,000 a day.
$5,000 a day?
I'm not here
Is
every day,
that
though.
all? How
I'm
you
not
gonna
here
live
every
on
day,
that?
though.
No,
So
you're not.
That evens out.
Tell you what.
Why are you doing checks? Cash.
Venmo,
money,
baby.
homie.
Oh, sure, whatever.
Cash.
You can't
No,
send
we
that
want-
much on
we
Venmo.
want
cash.
We want stacks.
I don't think he believes in cash.
Fat stacks. I've got cash in my pocket right now.
5,000?
Why don't you
Let me
just
see how
give,
much I have. I might have $5,000 in cash in my pocket.
Split it between the two of us. We'll give you first day's half off.
I have $11 in cash. I was a little off.
We'll each take $550.
$5.50. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
You could just give us like a debit card with our name on it.
You know what else?
Yeah, just put a joint bank
just
account with
open
them.
us a bank account. Why don't you
An
do
Alan
that?
Cox Show joint bank account. Yes.
Or gift cards. I like gift cards.
Yes.
Now,
I'm going to give it to the girl who goes to the Jack Casino all the time.
Now, hold
And the guy
on.
over here who can't stop eating Uber Eats.
You know what? I
Yeah.
was open with you.
we shared our addiction.
I know.
Trying
And
to
now we're
confide.
victimized
Listen.
again.
That might be why you might want to. That's why I won't give you any of my money.
Why?
But the company might give you your money.
What? Because I go to the casino?
Yeah.
I'm banning myself.
You go, hey, listen, I have an addiction. And the company goes, oh, well, we got to figure this out.
If I ban myself, will you give me $5,000 a day?
If I ban you, how would I know that you are not
I'll
going
show you
to
the paperwork. There's a thing you can do.
I know,
go
you talked
fill it
about
out,
that.
And then I'll show you the paperwork and you say, congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the first step of the rest of your life.
$5,000 a day.
$5,000 a day.
Would you do that?
Let's talk
Yeah.
about that. Yeah, we'll have that conversation.
But not for $5,000 a day. But I mean, it's not out of hand, right?
I mean, it's not great. I'm going to therapy about it.
But why wouldn't you just do that
Then
in
just
I'm
anyway?
going to.
Ban
Yeah.
yourself.
I
Ban
am.
yourself.
That's literally.
been-
I had a very long, deep, sobbing conversation with my boyfriend last night, where I was like,
You did?
Where I was like, I have to ban myself from the casino. And here's the
I didn't
thing.
realize it was that big of a deal.
And it's not yet. Does that make sense? Where it's like, I'm not broke. I'm not spending every dollar I have. But the last 2 months, 3 months, it's
But
been.
based on the story, you were just talking about your tax situation. Why would you spend a penny
I
at the
know.
casino?
I understand. It's an addiction.
I don't think
bro.
you do.
It's an addiction. I'm telling you, last night I had to have this conversation with my boyfriend. I'm sobbing hysterically because, I mean, this is way deeper than I even expected to get with it. But I'm crying about turning into my father and how he ruined every person in my family's life.
Yeah, I
and
understand that.
And like I said, I'm not broke. I haven't spent all my
Was your
money
boyfriend
or
like
anything
Homer
that.
going back through the hedges?
No. Well, he was, you know how he is with money. So he was just
He's like, what? Is the phone for me? What?
No, he was just like, I've never asked because it's none of my business. He's like, your finances are none of my business. If we were married and you lost our house, I would have a problem with that, you know?
Right.
But I was just explaining to him that I was like, this will be a problem if it continues this way.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That
You,
kind of thing.
if the longer you guys are together, you will be barreling down a track here that's not positive.
What, with gambling?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, and I've
with
seen
him
it.
being the way he is with money.
Well, not even with him being the way he is, with me being the way I am, being
both.
having zero impulse control and a past with addiction.
Yeah.
And coming from a family where it's a thing.
Can you
know?
write your gambling losses off on your taxes?
Only if you win. So if you hit
Oh,
a
right.
$10,000,
You explained
if
that.
you
Yeah,
hit
yeah.
a $10,000 jackpot, but you've lost $8,000 that year, you can write off $8,000 of it and pay taxes on the $2,000 difference.
Yeah.
So, because you kind of had like a strategy where
I
you go
was,
in, and then you kind of fell off that.
Well, the strategy was working and I was winning money. So then I was like, well, because I was only using my free play. So if I had $70 in free play, I
Yeah.
would go in, I would use the free play, and if I got up, say I got up to 150, I would cash out and I would leave. So I made $150 from no dollars. And I was doing that pretty much all of January and February. I was up a lot of money those first 2 months. And then as a gambler, when that gets into your head, we're like, I can't lose. Like, I'm doing great. So what if I take my free play and then a little couple hundred of my own?
Who thinks they can't lose?
Gamblers.
Can't win.
People with a compulsive gambling addiction.
You were doing it.
I was doing it the way you
should
should have.
do.
But then you get this brain, and this little thing in your brain that's called addiction that gets in there. Is like,
But
hey, I got an idea.
But you just said your dad is the prime example of how your brain is wrong.
Oh yeah, I know.
Your
I know
brain
that.
is incorrect.
I know that.
Your brain is lying to you.
That's why, dude, I'm doing a lot of research on gambling addiction, and it's like one of the worst forms of it as far as it's super easy to hide. Like, nobody can tell if someone's a gambler like they could if you were like a meth user or something
right.
like that.
Not
you know?
visible until you're homeless.
Until
and
you-
then
well, and
it happens
that's-
all at once.
And that's exactly what it is where it gets out of hand fast, and people are like, I didn't even know you went to the casino. You'd be like, well, I'm $200,000 in debt.
Right.
So, but yeah, last night I had a big sobbing confession, I guess you could say, to my boyfriend, where I was like, I don't want to turn it. And I came
What's-
home with that energy where I was like, I don't want to turn into my dad. And he's watching baseball. He's like, what is happening right now?
You started crying in the car on the way home? Oh,
I
God.
really did, yeah.
Well, do you go to GA meetings or anything like that?
I
or
went to
no?
my first one last night.
Did you really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You had a busy night.
I had a very busy night.
Wow.
So is that before and after High and Dry?
Before. That's why I was
I
in
guess
such
I didn't-
a scatterbrained mood.
But
when
all
I
these
got there.
conversations we've had.
That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
All these conversations we've had on the show, I didn't realize that you considered yourself a gambling addict.
This is recent as of the last, I'd say, 2 months.
You were going to run out of
March
things to
and
do.
April, I know. And that's
And you had to do, hey, everybody, I'm Mary, I'm a gambling addict?
it was my first day, and I had to introduce myself. And they make you answer 20 questions that are like, hey, if you answer yes to 7 of these, that's signs of problem gambling. And
7 out of 20?
yeah, I answered yes to like 16. It's like, have you ever lost time, or have you ever lied
They're like,
about
well,
where you are, like that kind of
You
stuff.
answered the 7, all right? You don't have to do any more than that.
Right, yeah.
Can we do the questions?
You can, yeah. I mean, I'm open. I'm open about this kind of stuff. But yeah, this
wanna-
was like,
I just want to know how Alan
if
and I
you
would.
Google it, you're not going to answer yes to one single question because it's all about. It's like 20 questions of gambling addicts or whatever.
20 questions, Gamblers Anonymous.
Yeah, there you
got
go.
it?
Did you ever lose time from work or school due to gambling?
Yes.
No.
Has gambling ever made your home life unhappy?
Yes.
No.
Did gambling affect your reputation?
Kind of. No. People think of me as a gambler, but in a fun way.
Not anymore. Have you
Yeah,
ever
that's
felt...
fun gambling Mary over
There she
there?
is.
She's
I feel
coming
like-
in and gambling.
I feel like a lot of these are kind of hedging their bets, if you will. Have you ever felt remorse after gambling?
Yes.
Of
Yes.
course. Did you ever gamble to get money with which to pay debts or otherwise solve financial difficulties?
No. That I have not done.
Did gambling cause a decrease in your ambition or efficiency?
Yes. That's something we learned in therapy last week.
No.
After losing, did you feel you must return as soon as possible and win back your losses?
Yes.
No.
After a win, did you have a strong urge to return and win more?
Yes. Do you see what those two back-to-back say?
Yes.
Whether you win or lose, you're going straight back. That's
Right.
exactly what
That's
happens.
what I mean. They're kind of loading the deck here.
Yeah,
If you'll
it's
again
like-
pardon me a pun.
But it's also it's not a loaded deck. It's just if you are these people, you're going to want to gamble more. Like I've won some money gambling, and I'm like, I'm out.
Right. Did you ever borrow to finance your gambling?
No.
Did you often gamble until all your money was gone?
Every time.
Have you ever sold anything to finance gambling?
No.
Were you reluctant to use gambling money for normal expenditures?
No.
I can't pay my mortgage. This is my gambling money. Did gambling make you careless of the welfare of yourself or your family?
No. There's some. See, these are when you're getting into it heavy when people
Yeah,
are at
right.
their rock
Losing
You're
their
bottom.
trying to
house.
stop
Right.
yourself before you get this deep.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's good.
Is that all of them?
No.
No.
Did you ever gamble longer than you had planned?
Yes. That's happened where I've got into the casino and then I look down at my watch. I'm like, it is 4 a.m. There's
no clocks in there,
I gotta
yeah.
get out of here.
Have you ever gambled to escape worry, trouble, boredom, loneliness, grief, or loss?
Yes, and that's another therapy topic.
Oh, God. Have you ever considered committing an illegal act to finance gambling?
You mean like selling foot picks? No.
Ah, that's legal. It's not illegal. Did gambling cause you to have difficulty sleeping?
Yes.
Have you ever considered suicide?
No.
Has gambling ever caused you to want to hear the Bill Squire Friday Get Down?
Absolutely not.
Well, too bad.
Oh, man. She's got a problem, all right. That problem is that she don't want the Bill Squire Friday Get Down, which is brought to you by Cleveland Whiskey, by the way.
Everybody, have a drink, have a drink, have a drink on me. Everybody have a drink on me. Hey, hey, everybody drink on me. Brother Leslie, how?
Well, that's how we know that the weekend is officially underway around these parts in honor of the late, great Murray Saul here at WMMS. The Bill Squire Friday Get Down is brought to you by Cleveland Whiskey. Take it away, William.
It's Friday! You got to get down on Friday. Get yourself some Cleveland whiskey and gamble all night long in any way you see fit. Maybe play some slot machines. Win that jackpot. Jackpotta, jackpotta, jackpotta. It's Friday!
Well, I think we all won.
Oh, we did.
all hit the
I think
jackpot.
I did one you liked.
I didn't mind that one.
Yeah,
That made
see?
me laugh. Big gambler, big gambler.
That's what you sent me. I was like, I'm gonna do
Jackpot is great.
Jackpotta. The Bill Squire Friday Get Down brought to you by Cleveland Whiskey. You can find out everything they've got going on, delicious recipes. You can prep yourself for hanging out with friends and making drinks in the summertime. Go to clevelandwhiskey.com for all the latest information.
The Alan Cox Show.
On our free iHeartRadio